What's up, Awoken TV? How's everybody doing on this Sunday evening? I hope you're fabulous and amazing. I'm just jumping onto Facebook here, making sure that everything looks good. Let me know if you guys are here live with me. Welcome to Therapeutic Wisdom from the Akash, live here every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you have not been to Awoken TV before, welcome. If you have, welcome back. I encourage you to check out Awoken TV at www.awoken.tv or on the App Store because you're going to find other shows like this. You're going to find films, you're going to find courses, pretty much everything that you would need for your spiritual and metaphysical journey. We like to call Awoken TV a spiritual and metaphysical Netflix because it is. So enjoy. If you have not seen me here before, my name is Laura Mazzotta. And I am an Akashic healer and teacher. I've also been a therapist for almost 20 years. Hi, Christina. For some reason, comments have not been working on Facebook on my laptop lately. So I'm just going to keep my phone open so I can keep my eye on it here. So thank you for saying hi so that I know what's going on with the comments tonight. I appreciate it. If you guys are here, definitely say hi. I especially love welcoming in new people into this community because it's such a beautiful spiritual family. And I want you to feel welcome. And I love connecting and learning more about new people. So, hi, Sherry. Good to see you, honey. Thank you for being here. If there's anybody you think that could benefit from listening to a talk about authority, owning our authority in our personal lives and our professional lives, definitely share this out to them because that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. I'm just going to be channeling tonight, bringing information through from the Akash. So, I may be less attentive to questions while I'm live because I'm going to be really bringing through whatever the records want to share because they have a lot to say on this topic. They've been kind of chirping in my ear a lot about this week, and it just felt really palpable to bring forward. So you guys can let me know too if there's areas in which you struggle with authority, and we can tap into that as well. Okay. So again, my name is Laura Mazzotta. I'm an Akashic healer and teacher, and it's truly my mission to help people get the most potent core level healing in the most efficient and effective way possible. And I've found that to be the Akashic Records hands down. Even after being a therapist for almost 20 years, going through my own medical things and being really well versed in the medical community, um, I have found that the Akashic Records have completely blown me away. So that's why I'm here every week to share wisdom from there, to give us insight on the kinds of things that we experience as humans, because we are here on this planet to experience duality, to experience polarity. I'm going to be drinking a lot tonight because I'm not feeling 100% today. So I thank you for your patience. As I'm not my typical spunky self. I'm still spunky, but not as spunky as I usually am. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about authority tonight because the Akash has been bringing it forward in my world, specifically around my physical body. Hi, Lou. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for saying hello. I appreciate it. So nice to see you. So, particularly around my physical body. So, when we think about authority, what do you guys think of? Like, we think of the government, we think of our mentors, our teachers, our coaches. We think of like a hierarchy, right? When we think about authority, I mean, that's a very common way to think about authority. In fact, there's a few different ways to define it. One of them is to have a person or an organization kind of in power or in control, right? But that's not the kind of authority I'm talking about. I'm certainly not encouraging you to go break the law and break those standards of authority that you're used to, okay? But I do want us to feel this greater sense of sovereignty with owning our own authority over certain areas of our lives and the direction that our lives go and the path that we take, okay? So, because another description, hi Shirley, thanks so much for being here. We got two from New Zealand. Hi, everybody, welcome. Hi, Caprice, so good to see you. So, the authority also means having the power or the right to make decisions, right? So, we have the power or the right to make decisions for our own lives, yes or no? Yes, we do. You could say, oh, well, we have limitations because of the powers that be in administration, or whether you're talking about your job or whether you're talking about the government. But we want to honor the authority that does exist that provides a certain level of order for us. But when we're going through our day to day, we really want to rely on our own authority, okay? And a lot of times, this is what people rely on their parents for. And then they feel a little lost when they don't have that authority. If your parents pass, or if there's been an estrangement or some distance in that relationship, you can feel like, hmm, you know what, I'm feeling a little lost, right? We become reliant on authority external to us. And so it's important for us to have structures in place, yes, but most importantly, to tune into, how does my inner authority align with the external authority, right? How does it line up? And how can I best navigate my path in a way that I'm divinely led? Okay. Because our ultimate authority is divine intelligence. Divine intelligence created all of this. Okay. So divine intelligence is really our ultimate authority. And we really want to make sure that we tune into that first and foremost when we're making decisions about our day to day. Okay. Hi, Jennifer. Good to see you. Hi, Amber. So nice to see you. No worries. Very nice of you to take care of your nephew. And I'm not going to be on super long tonight just because I'm not at 100% capacity tonight. So I'm going to do some channeling and bringing some stuff through, and just seeing if there's anything coming up in your fields around this too. Okay. So the third way that we can look at authority, which I think is the most important part and the most important definition, is, and I'm going to read this to you because I just took it off of dictionary.com. And this is a practice, by the way, that I use pretty regularly, that I encourage my clients to as well. That when you guys are feeling stuck, or when a certain concept isn't sitting with you, or you're stuck in your journaling and you're stuck in your life, trying to think of how would I describe that, and then taking those words and looking them up in the dictionary, because you're going to find that there's multiple different definitions, and there's multiple ways to look at words as symbols, and words carry vibration. And so it's really important to kind of dissect them and understand, how does this word actually align in my world, but not in the way that it's traditionally understood, right? Hi, Adele. So good to see you. Thanks for being here. So, this is my favorite definition of authority, which is the power to influence others, especially because of one's commanding manner or one's recognized knowledge about something. So, that definition right there, highlights and magnifies the fact that every single one of us have a recognized knowledge about something. What do you guys have a recognized knowledge about? It could be anything. It could be making banana bread. Jennifer just made banana bread. It could be making, it could be cooking, it could be gardening, it could be singing, it could be talking to people, it could be loving, right? What do you have a recognized knowledge about? And this doesn't have to be recognized by the powers that be or anything external to you. Everything is recognized by divine intelligence. Everything is recognized by the universe. So, what do you recognize within yourself? This is your first step to taking authority in your personal life, is identifying for yourself, where do I recognize my unique knowledge about something? So, I want you to put that in the comments, because I want you to communicate to the universe, being really clear and really intentional and really bold, claiming your authority in that area. And we have the power to influence others when we identify our genius in a certain area of our lives. Okay? Because we all have genius. We all have it. So it's calling us to recognize it. It's calling us to pay attention to it and to set intentions around it as well. Okay? So that's number 1. That's really, really important to focus on for authority. And then there's a few different ways this can show up. So I told you earlier, one of the ways it's been calling me forward is with my physical body. How do I own authority of my physical body? Well, we just talked about recognized knowledge, right? So I need to recognize the knowledge that is held within my physical being. I need to cultivate the relationship with my physical body. Thank you for answering, Amber. It's totally fine. You can meditate on it. It's a good journaling question. But how do I allow my physical body to work with me to claim that authority, right? So for me, it's about listening to my body's wisdom and my body's signals. And that I claim more and more authority as I have this nice little marriage and dance with my physical body. So that's one of the ways that I claim my really intimate authority. Then we have personal authority where, it's engaging with other people. And this could be, and I'm not talking about work yet, okay? This is just like your family members, your friends, people in your community. How are you claiming your authority in those relationships? The best way to do this is with your boundaries. Identifying your energy, how you best maintain your vibration so that you're in a good space and you're rocking and rolling. And when you're in that space, you then get to decide who comes in to that vibration and who does not. Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, you can. I can see through to see what it is a person needs immediately. I love that so much. Claim that, right? You claimed it already by putting it down. So it's recognizing that genius within us, that recognized knowledge about something that literally every single human being on the planet has. It's just turning our attention toward it. It's turning our awareness towards it. That if we were in a society where everybody had a role and nobody had any disabilities or dysfunction or anything that was labeled as wrong, we would all have a role to play and we would all be doing our thing, our zone of genius to help the whole community tick. So, what would your zone of genius be? Right? So, when we're talking about personal authority with other people, that's really around you making sure your boundaries are solid so that when people are coming to you, you're able to be the authority in taking care of your vibe, not protecting your vibe, because that implies that there's something evil. There's like an evil sorcerer out there who's trying to get you. Okay. You, as you stand more and more in your authority, are not going to fear external energies coming towards you because you're so solid. You're such a strong advocate for your own energy and you're unapologetic about it. You're able to say, like, hey, thanks so much for dropping by into my field, right? Thanks so much, but I'm good today, or I've got to go do this, or I'm gonna stay within, and I appreciate you stopping by. And that can be a comment coming towards you. It can be somebody actually coming to visit you, but you making sure that your boundaries, first and foremost, are upholding your natural authority. So, this means that you have to know your natural authority, which is what we just talked about a little bit. But it also, one of the best ways to get there is through meditation, right? To really sit with yourself in stillness, to really understand your patterns and understand your zone of genius and how you tick. Lou says, I can see the duality of a situation to help some see the other perspective. Yes, beautiful. I love that. Brilliant. We need more people to assist us with that. So thank you. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when our minds are open, external to us, sometimes it closes internally, which is why it's important to open our awareness internally first. That means our physical bodies, it means our emotions, it means our spirit, right? It means our energy. And once we get this real understanding of this entire universe that exists within us, that's multifaceted and multidimensional, we have a really good grasp on that. We feel really solid, like we have this community within our physical body of energy, of harmony. Then we know exactly where we stand. We know exactly what world we're living in. And so we allow ourselves to operate as if we own that inner world because we do. We own that inner world. And somebody could say, well, divine intelligence actually owns that inner world. You're right. But we are divine intelligence. Divine intelligence is us. It's kind of we kind of swap, right? It's a mutual relationship. We work together, we co-create, okay? So the other piece of authority is in the workplace or in a professional role. This is where most people think about authority. They think about, you know, presenting yourself professionally, being able to be assertive, being able to um, share your ideas in a way that will be heard, being able to have clout, right? But again, how do we separate our own authority from hierarchy in the workplace? Because we don't want there to be a hierarchy. We don't want to get to a point where we own our authority so much that we are shutting other people out because they haven't owned theirs, right? We want to realize that we're all on this journey together. And when we're in the workplace, the same the same formula applies as when we're talking about personal authority, right? Because we just talked about managing your internal world, managing this universe that exists within you, right? So how does your role shift when you are in a professional role? Because if you fully own your authority, your role is the same no matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you're at work, it doesn't matter if you're with friends, it doesn't matter if you're with family. Your authority is the same because you're maintaining your vibration. And you're just bringing that into a different setting. So, how does that feel to you guys? Does that make sense? Remember that the authority is the power to influence. And if we can influence from a space of solidarity in us owning every decision we make, everything that comes into our worlds as a reflection and a mirror for areas that we need to heal and shift and ascend further internally. And when we realize that, there's absolutely nobody who has authority over us other than ourselves. So, how many of you struggle with this? With feeling like you have the power to influence other people? Because every single one of us has the power to influence other people. Sometimes we influence other people in a negative way. A lot of times we have that authority and we wield it in a way that can come across as dictating, can come across as being bossy, can come across as, my way or the highway, right? But it doesn't really matter how other people receive what you're handing them because once again, how they receive what you're handing them is a reflection for them that they need to work on. So you don't take authority of their stuff, you take authority of yours. Same thing goes with your kids. How do we assist them with stepping into their own authority? By owning ours and very compassionately and gently keeping our boundaries in a place that really allows us to remain sovereign, that remains us to, that remains allows us to remain stabilized in our vibration, knowing that no matter what we go through, we still have the power to influence others. That even when we feel like crap, we still have the power to influence others. There's literally people out there waiting for you to arrive. Whether you're a light worker or you're not a light worker, it doesn't matter. Before we enter this planet, we have soul contracts with other people that we know are going to influence us in a certain direction and that we are going to influence them. And it's going to serve the highest good of both of us. So anybody who interacts with you chose to be in your field to reap some kind of change. So allow them to feel empowered in that, right? We want other people to feel empowered in that. And we also want to feel empowered in the same thing that when shit hits the fan, or something really bad happens in our lives, that we're able to say, wow, the universe must think that I am ready for the next level, right? Let me get this information together so that I can step further into my authority with this new information. And then one of your skills becomes resilience. One of these areas of recognized knowledge about something, it becomes resilience. And then you get to teach other people how to become resilient. You don't have to be a teacher per se, but just modeling it and being in their field, they're benefiting from that with you, right? Let me know if you guys have any questions that are coming up around this. I've just been kind of bringing through whatever the records have been downloading around authority. But for me, it's I'm going to be the most sovereign and the more in my authority, the more that I listen to and have an exchange with my physical body. Some people, it's going to be with their emotions. Some people, it's going to be with their thoughts. And it doesn't have to be the same your entire life. Your authority can change. The point here is, as you change, but the point here is not to rely on externals to define our authority, not to rely on somebody saying, oh, yeah, you're good at that. So you're an authority in that in order for you to own it. You can claim an authority on something right now in this moment. Doesn't have to be your life's mission. It doesn't have to be where you claim authority tomorrow or next week or next month or next year. But right now in this moment, I know every single one of you watching here live or on the replay can claim authority in one area of your life. Again, it could literally be making pasta or deviled eggs, right? But it's starting to get into the habit of claiming authority in something so that you're able to recognize your genius, the fact that it exists. And sometimes that's all it takes. We don't even need to get more specific than that, other than knowing, like, I do have authority within me. I know it exists. I may not know in every moment what that authority happens to be in that area of my life or in that relationship or what have you, but I know that I have it. And it's that knowing that will continue to help drive you forward and continue to maximize your ownership of your authority. If you're having trouble identifying any areas of genius or any areas of recognized knowledge about something, ask Spirit to plant a seed for you. I guarantee you that there is a seed that has already been planted within you where that authority is growing, or it's just waiting to be watered, or it's waiting to be fertilized, it's waiting to be nurtured. So, what part of you is awaiting more nourishment? Because the more that we have this nourished, the more that we have this authority aligned, no matter where we are, whether we're at work or whatever, that authority is going to come across. Okay. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off here in a minute. But I just wanted to, the records were really eager to share about authority tonight because, it comes up a lot with light workers. It comes up a lot where people feel like they're a fraud or imposter syndrome. Like, I can't show up and share about that. Oh my goodness. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I haven't done X, Y, and Z, or I don't have a certain amount of certifications or education or what have you. Right. But once again, you're putting that authority outside of yourself into educational institutions and expectations of society and all of that. I tell people all the time, I have a master's degree, been a therapist for 20 years. And I have met the smartest people I've ever met in my life on the spiritual path. And the vast majority of them do not even have their bachelor's degree, the ones that I've met, a lot of them. So, you have a genius that is so unique and so valuable to the planet. And it's really important to start opening your awareness to recognize it. So I hope that some of these questions and some of this guidance tonight at least allows you to start exploring it and starting to own it. Okay. Caprice says, tell the records thank you for the messages. I've been quiet because I'm listening with intention for clarity and more guidance about my authority and gifts and boundaries. Beautiful, Caprice. It's exactly what they want you to do. So, congratulations for doing the work. I honor you. Exactly. These are not answers that are necessarily going to come right away. But when we talk about our gifts, we talk about our boundaries, we talk about where we have that recognized knowledge. Okay. It's really important for you guys to just take a moment to tune in, like Caprice says, to tune in, to listen with intention and to gain clarity because it's there. And you know what? Again, if you can't see it or you can't find it, start to water it, start to nourish it, give it sunlight, fertilize it. What do we fertilize it with? Foods from the earth, right? Start to nourish your physical body or start to ask spirit, like, what is it that I need right now? Okay, I need some lemon water. Great. I'm going to start with that. Okay. And just start to nourish yourself with comfort. It could be love, it could be connection. And the more that you do that, the more that seed will grow. Okay. And you'll come into it, I promise. You're welcome, Jennifer. You're welcome, Lou. I wonder how to feel that I am hearing the divine guidance and not the ego, fears, and so on. Any thoughts? Um, yeah, so that's a big question, right? The difference between the ego and the Akash. What I can tell you is that any time that you're in the space of the Akashic records in particular, anything that's coming forward is going to be relevant for you. So even if you think it could be egoic, it's coming forward as symbolic. When it comes forward with just our ego, it's a literal message. When it comes forward through intuition, it's a symbolic message. So if you follow it and you really allow yourself to see this message unfolding over time, whether you're just sitting there and you're watching a scene develop or whatever's happening with your intuitive messages, you're going to realize that the image that you're watching is going to take you down a different path than where your ego would naturally take you in that same vision, if that makes sense, or audio, if I think you said you were hearing things, right? Yeah. So but yeah, that there's a lot of information around that one that could be a whole other live for sure, but I can jot that down as well. So hopefully that helps you a little bit, Caprice. But um, I actually have a new course that is starting on May 11th, and I have started to offer some lower cost courses for people who are really eager to get to know the Akashic Records more, really be able to delineate these kinds of things, like the difference between the ego and the Akashic records, and how you can really strengthen your intuitive messaging that you're sharing with others, but also that you're just receiving. And it's called Activating Akashic Wisdom. So I will put the link here in the comments for you. So that I actually think, oh no, it's not in the description of the video. I'll put it in the comments for you so that you guys can check it out and access it. It's going to be 3 weeks of group coaching. So you can literally use this opportunity in whatever way you want. That's what I love about it. Like, I really just wanted to connect with people and offer people coaching who don't necessarily have the opportunity to do so in higher level programs. So, you can come to this program and get like a mini Akashic reading. You can come and get guidance on work. You can get guidance on how to develop your business if you want. Or this can just really be, hey, this is where I am with my Akashic journey or my intuitive journey and I'd like to amplify it in XYZ way. And I can help you do that uniquely based on where you are, based on how messages come through for you, etc. And we can amplify what you're already bringing forward. Okay, so I'll put that link in. You guys can check it out. Oh, cool. Thank you. I think Cassidy's here helping me out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Not necessarily hearing. Okay, okay. Thank you, Caprice. I appreciate it. That is also one of my fun learning opportunities. How do I hear the messages? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Cool. Love that. All right, friends. So I love you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you for receiving this wisdom, for being on this path, for taking these messages to heart and implementing these strategies going forward. It's assisting you, it's assisting those around you, it's assisting the planet. And I just honor you all for being here with me. And I will see you next Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Have a good one. Bye.